Hi, my name's Lisa Wren. I'm an accredited practicing dietitian, and this is the third in a series of videos that we're looking at. If you're not dieting, then what actually are you doing? And I guess this is talking about healthy eating and how do you make good decisions each day. And I think a vital part of that is the planning of the meal. I think planning meals and planning your snacks is actually the key to weight loss success. Because when you don't plan, so you skip a meal, the kids are getting ready for school and you don't have time to sit down and eat, and then come morning tea you're really, really hungry, so you grab something really quickly. And the things that we grab as snacks are generally not as healthy as the stuff that we have for meals. So that's when the cakes and the coffees come out in these mid-meal snacks. The other problem with a lack of planning is if you do tend to skip a meal, then you get too hungry for the next meal. So when you're hungry and when you're really too hungry, it's very hard to control not to overeat. And I think if you do miss a meal, I know for myself, if it ever happens, that I feel I'm playing catch up for the rest of the day, that things just aren't going according to plan. So I think again, this putting a plan in place is one of these major keys for weight loss success. So it sounds a bit simplistic, but food is important in weight loss. And I guess that's perhaps why diets work, because you actually are focusing on what you're eating. And so when you're not on a diet, you tend to be thinking less about food and just grabbing stuff. But I think I need to remind you that this planning part and healthy eating, you still have to make good food choices. But it's actually not just about food choices. It's also about prioritizing meals and eating. Because I know a lot of people say, when I get busy, I just forget to eat. So often we've got that main meal at lunchtime being skipped. You get halfway through the afternoon, you get really, really hungry, you grab a snack, which is not a great snack that you were sort of hoping for, and then you're less hungry for dinner. So it kind of gets, your whole plan gets a bit skewed. So it really is this prioritizing food and meals, saying I need to make time to eat breakfast, I need to make time to eat lunch, and I need to make time to eat dinner. And I also need to know, if I'm hungry in between, what snacks am I going to have? And I find myself talking often to people, particularly busy people, which, it's most of us, is that in dieting, in healthy eating, in weight loss, what you need to do is prioritize yourself. And particularly for women, this sort of doesn't come so easily. The kids and the hubby, their needs are important, but I get left down here. So in order to maintain a healthy weight, in order to get yourself healthy eating, you need to be just as important as everybody else in the household. So that doesn't mean you've got to be selfish and care less for everyone else's needs. It means that you are at the same level as everybody else. So your food needs are just as important. How many times when you have a toddler that you think, yep, I've got my toddler's snacks together, here we go, we're leaving the house, but you forget about yourself. So planning meals and prioritizing yourself are really important steps in that long-term weight loss journey. So if you know what you're having for meals and snacks, can you just imagine if you knew, yep, this is what I'm having for breakfast, this is my morning tea snack, lunch will be this, afternoon tea will be this, and this is what the family's having for dinner. It would decrease the stress in your life. It also decreases the decisions that you've got to make because they've already been made, and therefore increases the likelihood that you're going to make good food decisions because there's less thinking, there's less time for irrational thoughts, there's less time for grabbing foods that are less than healthy for you. So having a plan will actually help the whole process work a whole lot better. And the other bonus is, if you have a plan for what you're going to have for lunch, particularly if you're working, so you bring your meal from home, you're going to save money because you're not buying your food out, and you're certainly going to save calories because we know that any food that is prepared out of the home in restaurants or cafes is going to be far higher in fat than anything you bring from home. So you're saving money and calories, as well as having good food that you like on hand when you're at work. And imagine coming home at the end of a busy day and you know what you've got to cook, or perhaps you've cooked it beforehand. But that decision is not there to have to make when you're under pressure, having to get this child here and pick that one up from there, as well as prepare a meal. If you know what you're having and you've got the food at home, the whole thing runs a whole lot more simply. So planning meals is really the center point of healthy eating and weight maintenance. It doesn't take a lot of time to plan. It's simply about setting aside about 5 to 10 minutes of a week, preferably before you go shopping, and you know what you got to buy and you know what you're going to eat. And the whole week just flows on much nicer. And then you can be also thinking, wow, I'm eating healthily and it hasn't taken that much extra effort. So what I'd encourage you to do is to take 5 or 10 minutes of your week and put it into meal planning. So it might be that you need to plan for breakfast, lunches and dinners each day, and possibly snacks as well. Or it might be that really the only problem area is really dinners. And so that you might just need to plan your dinners from Sunday through to Thursday or Monday to Friday, whichever works best for you. But taking the time to put this plan in place will really make healthy eating happen a lot easier. So I wish you luck with this, but it is about taking action. So making the time to plan for healthy meals and snacks is really worth your while and is the key to your weight loss success and your ongoing weight loss maintenance. So good luck with it all, and thanks for listening.